Here's a little beautiful joke referring to how you want to sound in an oral exam. Yeah, you want to sound intelligent, educated, whatever you think you are. And the examiners just see someone stumbling along and trying to make the best of an awkward situation. Yeah, keep it simple. Nobody cares how intelligent you are. They just want you to get through, and the kid on the right is exactly what you need. It's totally okay. Yeah, you get through that. And if you know that and you're willing to look ridiculous, you actually will have a better chance of passing that exam. So be yourself, but don't be yourself. Yeah, be yourself as you are in the new language, in German, because that is a different self than you know from your native language. Don't try to be that original self. It's impossible. This is my dog, Winston, and he always inspires me with his gorgeous quotes. One of the most gorgeous quotes I found recently is this one: don't lose your enthusiasm. Yeah, a failure is really just a stepping stone on a longer path to success, whatever success is for you. But in this case, it's passing the exam. Keep your expectations at bay. Practice properly. Follow someone who actually understands how to hack exams and make the best of it. Yeah, it's an opportunity to learn something about yourself and to experience yourself. And in the end, it's very likely just money that you lose. And I understand you have to work hard for it, which is why I've created my course. And you can, the free lesson here is not referring to the hacking course. I didn't update the QR code. It leads you to my homepage and there to a free lesson of my main A1 to B1 course. But there you can also find under all courses the B1 exam hacking course, which goes into much more detail than I could today. But I hope this already gave you a little inspiration on how to really approach this like a hacker. Yeah. That was the presentation. And if you have any questions, I can scroll through the thing here. Yeah, that's good. And then I will answer them. Yeah. So it's a rough outline. How long did it take? Yeah, 45 minutes. Very good timing. So Steve has asked, and you can ask questions not only about exams, you can ask anything. Yeah. Is the focus on grammar, spelling, or both? Neither. Nothing at all. There is no grammar whatsoever in any exam, any of the exams that matter. If your school has a school exam, they can put in there whatever they want, but these are also irrelevant. There is no grammar test whatsoever. Grammar is helpful in the background. It helps you to write sentences, to formulate them. So it's kind of the ether that's in the back. Spelling, if you write a text, of course, the spelling shouldn't be too messy. I need to be able to recognize the words. So let's say every 4 spelling mistakes, you get 1 minus point, and you can have quite a few minus points. It's very important that you actually write about the topic that they prompt you to write about. Yeah. But it's very doable. Yeah. But spelling and grammar, it's in A1 they have, I think they might have a spelling exercise indeed. But I personally do not bother much with A1 at this point, but I will create an A1 exam hacking course because it is a bit specific, but it's also very doable. Don't worry about being intelligent. Does that mean don't worry about complexity of your written or spoken sentences to show B1 level? So how do you show B1 level to Lika? Yeah. A B1 level is a very simple level. The structure in B1 is, ich lerne Deutsch, weil ich studieren möchte. That's as complex as it gets. You don't even have to have a future tense. You don't have to have much conjunctive, if at all. You learn the basic phrases. I would like to rent a room. Ich würde gern ein Zimmer buchen. And that's it. But in your language, you tend to overperform very likely. Yeah, that's what I observe in thousands of learners that I have worked with. The tendency is there to overcompensate the lack of ability. And that's something you have to learn. And you need some feedback from the outside world, from someone who knows what B1 means. B1 is usually overestimated by learners. They think it is a complex level, but it is not. Yeah, of course, it's complex if you know nothing, but ideally you have had a couple of 100 hours of training before you enter an exam. Yeah. What about exams that really require your knowledge? Well, if an exam requires knowledge, if you have an example, then let me know. Then you need to acquire that knowledge. If you have an absolute deficit in the language, then there's not much you can hack. But I show you that the requirements are actually not as high as you think they are, and therefore you can be a little bit at ease. You still have to put in the work. Hacking doesn't mean cheating, and it doesn't mean that there's no work involved. There's always work involved in learning a language. But in my experience, you can save 50% of the work, and that's quite a lot if you do it intelligently. Yeah. Many exams deduct for wrong answers, not in the German exam world. You don't, well, of course it's a mistake, but it is not a punishment for that. Very simple, they're gentle exams, and that's okay, because it's in the end just a language exam. Yeah. It's not that you become a surgeon and after that you are allowed to cut people open. Worst case, you get a B1 exam that you don't deserve. I think the world will definitely make it. Yeah. Where can I find the vocabulary list? Genji, I won't give you any vocabulary list. Vocabulary lists are a waste of time. You don't learn with lists, you learn with context. You read books, you read text, and you learn how to decipher them, how to make sense of them. Vocabulary is not learned isolatedly. You need an approach, you need a structure. If you work with lists, you really waste a lot of time. So I can't give you any list. See that you get a course or a tutor that actually guides you properly through the learning process. If you don't know how to do it on your own, seek help. Yeah, Smarter German offers already a lot of information in the first lesson that is free. And my strongest recommendation, you look at that first lesson, because I teach there things you will not learn anywhere else. Yeah. Let me quickly send people a link to the hackers course. I actually have one you can have a coupon, 25% off if you want, if you use that link in the chat. If you already are a Smarter German user and have purchased a course of mine, you get 50% discount. But for people from the outside, 25 is as good as it gets. B2 and C1 exam. These are a bit different. They require indeed a lot of vocabulary knowledge and a lot more preparation, which is why this webinar was about the B1 exam. The B1 exam is the most important one for the majority of German learners. For those who want to study, B2 is indeed the most important one. Yeah, but there is, besides the advice I gave you here, which is also at least partially or in big parts applicable to higher level exams, you need to know a lot more vocabulary for those. And you need to prepare the same way. Sample exams, look at what you don't understand, fill the gaps, and try again until you get it. It's very doable. It's very mechanical. Always work with sample exams. And if you don't know how to work with sample exams, find help somewhere else from someone who knows how to work with sample exams. That's how I have passed all my exams, or most of my exams. Sample, sample, sample until I get it. And I got what I didn't get. Sample exams show you where you have gaps, where you do not understand yet what to do. And you are allowed to use dictionaries. The first time you do a sample exam, the exercises, you can look up the words, it's fine. If you have done 5 sample exams, you will realize it's always the same 5 kinds of exercises, and you recognize already the type of exercise. And therefore, in the 4th or 5th sample exam, you already don't need a dictionary anymore. You see, that's that, and you do it. And this is the beauty of preparing with sample exams. Yeah. I have to take an A2 exam. Is there a point in A1 to B1 course where I can say I'm confident to clear A2? Yeah, I have a roughly segregation in that course, and it's 54 lessons and 3 levels. So every 18 lessons, you kind of are more or less at that stage. But out of pure curiosity, why do you have to take an A2 exam? Because that's the one exam that really nobody needs. A1 you need if your husband or wife is in a German-speaking country and you want to follow them. B1 is needed for almost everything. Yeah, migration, visum, and so on. B2 is used for studying, and C1 if you want to become a doctor and certain other studies. And C2 nobody needs, and A2 also nobody. So I'd be curious why you need that. But after lesson 36, you can give it a try. I also have sample exams at that stage, even though A2 makes no sense. Yeah. B2-Prüfung, einen erwähnenswerten Unterschied, was Sex angeht. Also, wenn du den Satz alleine geschrieben hast, Luis, dann glaube ich, hast du keine Probleme dafür. B2, it's more of a psychological game. So the psychological tips I gave to you are applicable to any kind of level. And also the gap test, you need to figure out which word fits in the gap, and that helps you. In B2, they still have gap tests, I think, in Telk. Goethe has killed it. So Goethe is still the way to go in B2. Any hacks to remember the articles? Animesh, first 3 lesson of my everyday German course. It's the first technique I teach is the articles. Yeah? I missed the main thing because of the hours change. Will it be recorded? Yes, Judith. You're here, so that means you have registered. That means you will get a replay link anytime between now and tomorrow evening. If you don't get one by tomorrow 7 or 8 p.m., 7 p.m., let me know. 7 p.m. my time, so 24 hours from now. Can you please let me know how to improve listening? I watch German videos with subtitles, but still feel very difficult. Any suggestions, please? Rajiv. The problem is I don't know how you have learned. Are you working with a tutor? Are you working with a course? Could be a class, could be a self-learner's course. Are you working with Smarter German? Maybe even. Listening requires thought through practice. Yeah, and it requires a systematic approach. Some people can learn from just exposing themselves to stuff. The problem is the majority of people just can expose themselves and they kind of get what people are saying and they can kind of know Deutsch. It's fine, really no problem. Yeah, and not every article ending has to sit. It's fine. But listening is one of the most complex tasks to acquire. And some people have very good listening skills. Maybe they are musicians, of some sort, or they are analytical people. It's for whatever reason that kind of cooperates well. But these are the minority. The majority of learners really struggle with listening because it takes time. Yeah, my advice is expose yourself to a lot of German, listen consciously, and follow an approach. Yeah. Are the exam questions repetitive or do they change from time to time? I'm not sure what you mean, but if you find a sample exam online, it's unlikely that this is the actual exam they use at the institution that you do the exam at. Yeah. So what's repetitive is the kind of task that you do. It's always the same kind of task. It's in the nature of an exam, of 99% of exams out there, that there's only a certain amount of different tasks. Once you understand what tasks to do and what words to look for, it's only a matter of your vocabulary knowledge. And as I have shown, you don't need a huge knowledge. I assume it's 1,200 words you need, especially if you work with my approach, because you can make even more words or understand more words with these 1,200 words that you know. If you use another approach, you might have to learn more vocabulary. So, and it might be that in a task, for whatever reason, they use a word that is so rare or so out of your world that you have no chance. And then you miss that that exam, that part. It's fine. Yeah. As I said, anything above 60 is ego. So you don't need more than 60%. And if you miss one task because you don't know the word, no need to panic. It's just, okay, damn it, I have to get a point here more, or yeah. But if you really lack the vocabulary completely, then you have simply prepared badly. Then no hacking will do. Yeah. I want to apply for German university. Which kind of exam, Goethe or TAG, do you recommend? Ingrid, that depends. For university, every university has their own admission principles. And you have to research on their homepage. And every homepage or every university has an English version of their homepage. Every faculty might have different rules. So you have to look at that. Whether you do Goethe or TAG doesn't matter, but university usually demands, for proper studies, B2 level. And they will accept definitely Goethe and TAG B2 or C1 level, but they will also at times require so-called test DAF or DSH, which is for universities. And those are completely different exams. You need to really look into that. Look at the examples. There's plenty of examples out there, and you can also purchase a couple of more sample exams for $20. It's worth the investment. And then prepare well. If you realize you need help, seek help. It's very simple. Yeah, you can do an exam unless you have extreme anxiety, exam anxiety. And even then, if you have any ailment, any handicap of mental or physical nature, you can actually write to the institution and say, hey, I have a handicap, can I get more time? Or can I get a special exam? Yeah, they might not be able to provide you with this anytime soon, especially in these times, but officially they do offer benefits for people that have a bit of a problem, let's say with focus or maybe with spelling or physical condition. Always ask, invest sufficient time. If you want to know more, my B1 exam hacking course, there's a link somewhere in the chat. You can get that for 25% discount. Yeah. And you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you realize in the 30 days after purchase it doesn't work for you, just send me an email. You get your money back. I don't mind. Yeah. Good. Feel free to share your experiences with the exam with me and with the exam hacking course, of course. I really can just say from experience, also as an examiner, they don't want you to fail. They really want to support you. There's very few exceptions. And if there's an exception, it's not your problem. It's their problem. And it's just a language exam. I know a lot might depend on it, but it's okay if you have to do it one more time. Enter it to fail, and you can only win. So I'm curious to hear how you like this and what you actually can make use of. And I'm crossing my fingers. I wish you success with what you do, because it's not necessarily a question of luck, but rather of good work. And hope to see you soon. Next week is a Q&A where you can just ask questions. And the week after that is another webinar about how long it takes to actually learn German. Ja, take good care of yourself. Pass gut auf dich auf und bis bald. Talk to you soon.